Right, so tell me, how did you get involved in Eurovision last year?
Well, that's a funny story. I mean, people think that we were put together specifically for the competition, which is actually untrue. Love City Groove was in existence anyway as a band, and we had the first single, Love City Groove, due for release. And it was Jonathan King who heard it in the catacombs of the BBC somewhere and said, "That is brilliant, that will win. Who is this?" And he just phoned me up and said, you've got to enter it for the Song for Europe, the Great British Song Contest. It's going to win, it's brilliant. And so we all sort of said no because of the stigma surrounding the Eurovision Song Contest. But we spoke to him at great length, and he explained how he's going to try and change it and make it credible, and have a decent acts on, and change the face of Eurovision. So we said, yeah.
So you didn't have to go through all this selection process of 700. You had to go through all that as well.
I'm not quite sure how that works, because I think basically it's just Mr. King himself decides, who are the final eight, or this year it was final four, wasn't it? The final eight, and then there was a phoning thing for the final four. No, I think it's down to him as the 700. So he just said this is going to be one of the eight from the moment he heard it.
So last year it was kind of Britain's new look to the Eurovision. Do you think it worked?
We didn't win, but I think it definitely, hopefully, it'll be interesting. It's interesting to see this year what the other countries' entrants are like, because backstage all the other acts from all around Europe were saying, this is brilliant. Excuse the bad accent. This is brilliant. This is what we want. This is what we should do in the future. We should enter, good, credible pop songs from our own countries. And so we'll see this year if it had made change to see if these other countries are entering, more modern style types.
It only came 10th. Were you disappointed?
I didn't think we'd win, to be honest. I don't know about some of the other members of the band. I think that they might be a bit upset about it. But we sort of continued from that anyway. But I didn't think we'd win initially anyway, because the judges sort of, and it was so radical. I mean, to suddenly have rap, the first ever multiracial group to represent UK, the first ever rap song ever in the Eurovision competition. I thought it's too radical, but we had the crack over in Dublin.
Do you think it's done your career any harm that, as you said, there is a stigma, and Eurovision acts seem to be around for about 8 weeks, and then as soon as the contest is finished, you've gone, and you've kind of got this Eurovision tag. Why do you think it's got that stigma, and has it, harmed your career in the UK at all?
I don't know. I mean, we've been sort of so mad busy since they're doing the album, which is just out now, and we've been touring all around Europe. And the fact that the single "Love City Groove" sold more than any the entire other entries put together worldwide, it's got to be a good thing. And number 7 in the charts, And we've been busy. We've been touring. We've been up and down the country, and we get great responses everywhere we go. The public love us, so I think it's good.
So looking back at Eurovision past, was there anything that you kind of felt that did put you off from doing this at all? You kind of, obviously Jonathan King convinced you into doing it, but then you had to go into the Great British Song and win. Was there anything in the, kind of put you off thinking, I shouldn't really do Eurovision?
It was only silly things like when TV stations would kind of say, right, we want to do an interview with Love City Groove, and you say, okay, right, what does it involve? Well, you're going to be on with Brotherhood of Man, sort of doing their old dance. I mean, silly things like that. So, this is just getting crazy, But because I think UK did change the face of Eurovision by entering Love City Groove last year. I think it's no regrets there. So it's a good thing.
Why don't you think bigger names go for it? Because, as you say, you've got massive publicity here. You're in front of 400 million people. And in the past, people like Cliff Richard and the Shadows and the Brotherhood of Man reinvented their career out of it. Why don't you think more, as you say, already established stars stay well clear of it?
I don't know. Maybe they will. I mean, I think this year is going to be the acid test to see if other countries are trying to make it more credible. And if the UK makes it more credible, that's just the UK sort of side of it. But if it becomes more global and everybody changes this competition for God's sake and makes it something that the kids like and is truly representing youth music or real music or whatever, then I think you'll find more bigger names entering.
Because the idea of Eurovision was always to represent that country's musical style, which we've probably done for the first time last year with yourselves. And do you feel the rest are going to follow on for that?
We'll see. I mean, hopefully, fingers crossed, they will. As I said, all the other countries were impressed by us leading the way last year. And we'll see this year.
You've been involved in Eurovision. What was the kind of buzz? Because as it kind of in the 60s and 70s, it kind of came of age, and then people think, well, we should have got rid of this a long, long time ago. What was the feeling around?
we were having a great time because we sort of didn't really care. We were just out there having fun. I mean, some of the other countries, I think we were in it for the first time. Some of the new European friends, and they took it very seriously and were very nervous, and it was just a media circus. Everywhere you turned there was a microphone or a camera in your face, and there are loads of incredibly weird rumours about how one country's going to fix another country, and all this sort of political stuff going on. So it was exciting. The vibe was very exciting.
Was there any political bias you could feel or hear of going on backstage?
They get the usual things like Spain won't give us any votes because of the fishing, rights that are going on and everything, and various things like that. I mean, I don't know if there's any truth in it. I doubt it. I think it's just the press going a bit crazy.
Do you think it was a career boost for you in the end?
Well, I think the exposure was so global, and since the Eurovision, we've been touring all around Europe. We've just got back from Japan, where the album's absolutely huge. I think the exposure has been very, very good, and without the Eurovision, we wouldn't have had that global exposure.
So, after all the dust had settled after Eurovision, the single "Love City Groove" disappeared from the UK charts. You obviously got down to recording the album. What else happened?
Well, it was weird because we were off in Europe and we were off all up and down UK. I think we did about 3 tours all over the place. And then in the Spain, when we weren't on tour, we were in the studio. So it's just been crazy. It's just been hectic. That's what we've been doing for the last year.
So the album's out at the moment. What can we expect on the album?
It's a real rich mixture. It's a real hybrid. It's getting very good reviews now in the press. It's just come out. It's saying it's soul to soul. It's Arrested Development. It's perfect chill out music. Is a direct quote from Sugar magazine. It's got dance tunes, up tempo tunes. It's got some. So it's a mixture of, how do the Japanese say it? It's soul, funk, jazz, hip hop, and blues.
Why do you think it's gone so well in Japan?
They like rap music and hip hop a lot. I mean, there's a huge market out there for that. And I think because of the musical context involved in Love City Groove, because it's the beautiful songs along with rap music as well, I think the whole package is just right for their market.
How about anywhere else? Has any other territories really picked up on what you're doing?
Well, Europe, but we're over in Germany and Spain and France and Slovenia. Don't know why, but we're over there. And America are just making extremely good noises now, so we're going to go over there later this year. We're just trying to tie up the deal now.
Leave it, because it's exactly a year now since the first single. You've been very quiet for a year. Is it all been getting ready for this album? Was it a plan to keep quiet for a year, let the Eurovision momentum duck, then come back with a big album and single?
Yeah, because we wanted to, as you say, let the dust settle, but do all these tours to keep the public, informed. And we've now built a huge fan base, doing all these tours, and so we're now going to release the product, that the fans have been waiting for. They've got all the fan mail going out, to all the addresses saying this is the imminent release and everything, and come back with a bang. Yeah.
So what's the future for the band? You've got another tour, or are you just going to carry on plugging it?
At the moment we're on tour with PJ and Duncan, which is interesting, but that's fine. I mean, it's getting to play to 3,000 kids a night is good, and then America to try and sort that place out, that territory, and Japan have already asked us to come back because it's just mad out there, and more European dates, I would imagine. It's our jobs now. Let's keep doing it, and at some point a second album.
So what kind of audience do you think you're aiming at, or do you think you're getting with the PJ and Duncan tour? It's obviously a kind of an under 14 age group. What kind of audience are you hoping for?
That's interesting because we're doing this tour and it is sort of 14 minus, but a lot of them bring their parents, and it's interesting because the kids really really like the poppier tunes and everything, and they jump up and down and scream and all that sort of stuff and cry and whatever kids do, and then the parents really really like the jazz soul the musical element of it also. I think it's crossing over to both. It's like, if the kids want it, the parents will definitely buy the album because they like it as well.
So what kind of influences are the band musically? What are the musical backgrounds?
That's interesting because the rappers are heavily into their rap, and they like Wu-Tang Clan and Tribe Called Quest, and Reason likes the female rapper. She likes Prince and things like that. Jingles, the vocalist, he's heavily into soul. He likes Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder. And I'm crazy. I like just everything. I like everything from Bulgarian chants to heavy metal to hip hop to classical to, I mean, all music's good for me. So I think when we get together and create the sound which is Love City Groove, it's just all the mixing of all our different individual tastes, and it creates that, unique sound.
How have you found? Obviously, it seems to be going down quite well in America, the home of rap. And how have they taken to a British act doing rap? Because the British acts so far haven't succeeded too well in the American market as rap stars.
Well, I think that's interesting because I mean, the majority of the American rap is sort of gang based, and a lot of it is quite it's quite hardcore, it's quite underground, and it's about drugs and sex and violence and everything. And suddenly along comes this sort of Love City Groove, and they're sort of a more on a deeper level, about sort of solace and about love and about chill out and everyone's all right. I think it's refreshing for them, and it's kind of it's got that novelty factor that it's British, but they really like it.
So there's no strong messages in the music. There's none of this, as you say, have a gun in one hand and a syringe in the other hand. This is all love and peace.
It's not love and peace. I mean, it's actually a lot deeper than that. There's a lot of psychological stuff going on lyric-wise. I mean, just all the lyrics are in the album sleeve. Check them out. And there's some deep stuff like, unfortunately, Reason's grandfather passed away, and also one of her younger friends, a 14-year-old kid called Liam, was run over in Shepherd's Bush and killed. So some of the songs have a real sort of heavy level to them. But check it out.
So the future of the band?
We're going to keep working, keep at it, and we'll see you all soon.
Back to a year ago, did you feel that? There's always a kid's dream of playing football for England or playing cricket or representing the current country. Did you feel that you were representing the whole country on your shoulders in this contest?
It was an exquisite moment. I mean, when on the first leg of the competition, the Great British Song Contest, when we won by, which was even bigger than the votes cast this year, 142,000 votes in 1 hour, which is the largest amount of votes, telephone votes ever registered in the history of television. We thought, we are really representing the UK because this is what they want. So that was great. It was good to be speaking for the UK because that's what they wanted, and we went out there and did our best.
Why do you think the British press give it such a hammering? They really they see it as more of a farce, and let's have a big dig at it, the annual contest.
Yeah, because it has been pretty, tacky, for many years. I think, as you just said, last year was the first time that anybody tried to make change and make it something different. Jonathan King, that's his whole thing he's been trying to do. He's trying, for God's sake, it's not, let's change the image, let's make it more credible. And we'll see, as I say, this year, what other countries enter, more credible songs.
You said that the artists there were all taking it very seriously, and some of the new ones were quite nervous about it. The press, though, as we said, from Britain always seem to have a dig. But how do other countries see Eurovision through the press and through their musicians?
It varies from country to country. I mean, some are dead serious about it, and it's a real, important thing to go and represent your country at the Eurovision Song Contest. And some, couldn't give a shit.
I like that. I think that one.
Thought you might.